I've been trying to understand the dollar milkshake theory for a while now by watching every video about it on YouTube. At this point, I've watched like a million different videos, and every single video I watch explains the theory to me as if I have a PhD in being a giant nerd. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining the dollar milkshake theory to you as if you were only 5 years old. Because in my opinion, it's really important that even little babies understand macroeconomic analysis. At the rate we're going, the next generation is going to have their first successful 9-figure exit by second grade if they have any hope of retiring. So without further ado, the dollar milkshake theory. All right, guys, so the whole world is 5 years old. We're on the playground and we're using cookies to trade things with each other. If you want my Pokemon cards, that's gonna be 5 cookies. The only problem with this whole cookie trading situation is some of our moms are making homemade cookies and some of the other moms are packing us cranberry orange Belvita. So not all cookies are the same, and different kids on the playground have access to different cookies. Timmy is the richest kid on the whole playground because his mom is a professional baker and she makes homemade chocolate chip cookies and they're really good. So obviously everyone wants the homemade chocolate chip cookies from Timmy's mom and nobody wants Belvita. And even if you're like, bro, chocolate chip sucks, Timmy's mom doesn't know what she's doing, Belvita is goated. Timmy's mom has the biggest military on the planet, and if she catches you talking like a little she's gonna beat you up and take your house. Anyway, if you want my Charizard Pokemon card, the entire playground has pinky promised to only trade their best stuff for Timmy's mom's cookies.
So at this very moment in time, right now, I am prepared to give you 150,000
chocolate chip cookies
for just one of your 7 PSA 10 first edition Charizards.
And if anyone breaks any of those pinky promises, there are a bunch of international pinky promise lawyers that are going to get pretty upset, and Timmy's mom's military is going to be pretty upset too. This has been pretty great for Timmy, who can come to the playground every single day and get basically whatever he wants. And it's gotten to the point where even if Timmy doesn't bring physical cookies to the playground, everyone knows his mom is just going to keep baking more. So a lot of the times Timmy doesn't even have to trade away physical cookies. He just writes I owe you 5 cookies on a piece of paper with some crayon, and he starts trading those pieces of paper away for Charizard cards and bikes and all kinds of shit. And when Timmy starts trading away all of these IOUs, all of these paper promises for future cookies, his mom has to work overtime on the weekends to increase the supply of cookies to start flooding the playground with more and more cookies. And you might think that if Timmy's mom keeps baking all these cookies, that people might get sick of them. But what actually happens when Timmy's mom has to bake more cookies is that every other kid on the playground, their parents go out and buy more Belvita and buy more Oreos and other not as good cookies so that their kids can continue to trade on the playground now that there are so many of Timmy's mom's better cookies just floating around. And since everyone is bringing more cookies to the playground, Timmy's mom's cookies are still just as valuable, even though she's baked way more than she used to. The other thing that keeps Timmy's mom's cookies valuable is all of those pinky promises that are basically underlying the economy of the playground. These pinky promises have been around for decades, and you can't challenge the status quo by trading your best stuff for cookies that are not Timmy's mom's cookies. Basically, playground trading cannot happen without these cookies. Some people, though, are sick of Timmy's tyrannical rule of the playground and are trying to get the rest of the playground to switch to trading things for Belvitas and Oreos. But it's a super slow process. Renegotiating these pinky promises takes time, especially when at the beginning of the pinky promise, everyone said no take-backsies. So basically, when a bunch of other kids start bringing their cookies to the playground, the economy is set up in a way that those cookies end up getting just siphoned off to Timmy. Because to get the best stuff that everyone wants to trade for on the playground, those kids with worse cookies are forced to trade into Timmy's mom's cookies just to get the best stuff. And unfortunately, some of those kids, even when they can't afford a crayon IOU for some of Timmy's mom's cookies, they get desperate and they start pinky promising their friends some of Timmy's mom's cookies, even though they have no control over the creation of Timmy's mom's cookies. So this guy whose mom, she sucks at making cookies, he's like, yeah, I'll get you some of Timmy's mom's cookies, but he has no way of getting those. He has to bring his own Belvita garbage tier cookies to the playground, trade into Timmy's mom's cookies, and then make his trade for a bike or a Charizard card. Basically, the whole playground has ended up owing each other Timmy's mom's cookies, even though their parents can't bake those cookies. So even if Timmy's mom bakes like 1,000 cookies in a weekend, the playground has like 5,000 cookies worth of outstanding pinky promises. And so the value of Timmy's mom's cookies just keeps getting bid higher and higher and higher. Ultimately, there are only 3 ways forward for the playground. The first is that all the the outstanding Timmy's Mom's cookie debt gets paid off. This is highly unlikely because there are more outstanding pinky promises for Timmy's Mom's cookies than there are actual cookies, and it would mean that Timmy has to bring trillions of real cookies to the playground to pay off all of these IOUs for future cookies. And bruh, just between you and me, Timmy's mom can't make that many cookies. If this did happen though, it is possible the value of Timmy's Mom's cookies would go down because it would be easier to unwind all of the pinky promises that had been made on the playground over the last few decades, and people just might not need Timmy's Mom's cookies as much. The second option is we just keep going like we've been going. More pinky promises are made for future cookies that don't exist yet, and the entire playground is forced to bring more Belvitas and Oreos and other lower tier cookies just so they can afford things in the short term. Because again, everything important is priced in Timmy's Mom's cookies that those kids' parents can't make. This status quo would be positive for the price of Timmy's Mom's cookies because it keeps the entire playground buying more and more and more of these cookies just to make trades in the important things that they want to get. And that constant buying from the rest of the playground is going to continue to push up the price of Timmy's Mom's cookies no matter how many she makes. Because again, even if she makes a ton of cookies, all those other kids are going to need a bunch of new cookies in the short term just to make trades. The final option is that Timmy's mom stops baking altogether. Maybe she gets burnout, or she wants to join the military, or she gets some other hobby. In the real world, this would be called a default. And if that happens, the demand for Timmy's Mom's cookies is going to come down a little bit, but the supply of Timmy's Mom's cookies is going to crash through the floor. And that's because the playground has created all of these theoretical future cookie IOUs on paper that now are going to be impossible to fulfill. And counted in the supply of total Timmy's Mom's cookies are all of those outstanding IOUs that if she stops baking are just going to be completely gone. Demand is going to fall too because some people will have like lost faith in Timmy's Mom's cookies a little bit. But come on, bro, a chocolate chip cookie is still a chocolate chip cookie. What are you going to eat? Belvita? So when demand falls a little bit but supply falls a lot, the price of Timmy's Mom's cookies will actually increase sharply, not decrease. This increase in prices for Timmy's Mom's cookies will ripple through the playground, and it will start wiping out leveraged pinky promises that were made at lower valuations for Timmy's Mom's cookies. And so for now, the cycle continues. Those other kids' parents are going to keep buying Belvitas, and all those Belvitas are going to get sucked up by Timmy and his giant cookie milkshake. Timmy's going to sit there sucking up all the cookie liquidity on the playground, and he's going to continue to sling increasingly valuable homemade chocolate chip cookies and IOUs to the rest of the playground. And that is Timmy's Mom's chocolate chip cookie milkshake theory. At this point, if you're sick of cookie metaphors, congratulations, you're smarter than a kindergartner. I'll have links in the description to some of the relevant videos that I watched in preparation for this video, along with timestamps for the relevant sections of some of those longer videos. And then if you're looking for counterpoints or supplemental reading to just sort of understand a little bit more about the context of this topic and sort of macroeconomics in general, I would point you to Luke Groman's book, The Mr. X Interviews. I'm currently reading through these on Kindle. They're very short interviews with a fictionalized US sovereign creditor. It's a fun read if nothing else, and it might give you better context on the dollar's role in global macroeconomics. Let me know if I did a good job of explaining the dollar milkshake theory using this whole cookie analogy, and comment down below if you got confused at some point or if you think that I explained something incorrectly. I do still respond to all the comments. Check out this playlist over here to learn more about my thoughts on Bitcoin. I love you all. Goodbye. The playground has like 5,000. So stupid, dude.